This is a read aloud of the 2.04 unit test. Read the passage, Surrender Speech by Black Hawk, 1832. You have taken me prisoner with all my warriors. I am much grieved, for I expected, if I did not defeat you, to hold out much longer and give you more trouble before I surrendered. I tried hard to bring you into ambush, but your last general understands Indian fighting. The first one was not so wise. When I saw that I could not beat you by Indian fighting, I determined to rush on you and fight you face to face. I fought hard, but your guns were well aimed. The bullets flew like birds in the air and whizzed by our ears like the wind through the trees in the winter. My warriors fell around me. It began to look dismal. I saw my evil day at hand. The sun rose dim on us in the morning, and at night it sunk in a dark cloud and looked like a ball of fire. That was the last sun that shone on Black Hawk. His heart is dead, and no longer beats quick in his bosom. He is now a prisoner to the white men. They will do with him as they wish, but he can stand torture and is not afraid of death. He is no coward. Black Hawk is an Indian. He has done nothing for which an Indian ought to be ashamed. He has fought for his countrymen, the squaws and papooses, against white men who came, year after year, to cheat them and take away their lands. You know the cause of our making war. It is known to all white men. They ought to be ashamed of it. The white men despise the Indians and drive them from their homes. But the Indians are not deceitful. The white men speak bad of the Indian and look at him spitefully, but the Indian does not tell lies. Indians do not steal. An Indian who is as bad as the white men could not live in our nation. He would be put to death and eat up by the wolves. The white men are bad schoolmasters. They carry false looks and deal in false actions. They smile in the face of the poor Indian to cheat him. They shake them by the hand to gain their confidence, to make them drunk, to deceive them and ruin our wives. We told them to let us alone, but they followed us and beset our paths, and they coiled themselves among us like the snake. They poisoned us by their touch. We were not safe. We lived in danger. We were becoming like them, hypocrites and liars, adulterers, lazy drones, all talkers and no workers. We looked up to the Great Spirit. We went to our Great Father. We were encouraged. His great council gave us fair words and big promises, but we got no satisfaction. Things were growing worse. There were no deer in the forest. The possum and the beaver were fled. The springs were drying up, and the squaws and papooses without victuals to keep them from starving. We called a great council and built a large fire. The spirit of our fathers arose and spoke to us to avenge our wrongs or die. We set up the war whoop and dug up the tomahawk. Our knives were ready, and the heart of Black Hawk swelled high in his bosom when he led his warriors to battle. He is satisfied. He will go to the world of spirits contented. He has done his duty. His father will meet him there and commend him. Black Hawk is a true Indian, and disdains to cry like a woman. He feels for his wife, his children, and friends. But he does not care for himself. He cares for his nation and the Indians. They will suffer. He laments their fate. The white men do not scalp the head, but they do worse. They poison the heart. It is not pure with them. His countrymen will not be scalped, but they will, in a few years, become like the white men, so that you can't trust them. And there must be, as in the white settlements, nearly as many officers as men, to take care of them and keep them in order. Farewell, my nation. Black Hawk tries to save you and avenge your wrongs. He drank the blood of some of the whites. He has been taken prisoner, and his plans are stopped. He can do no more. He is near his end. His sun is setting, and he will rise no more. Farewell to Black Hawk. Question 1. Question 1. Which quotation from Surrender Speech best expresses a major theme of this speech? A. But the Indian does not tell lies. Indians do not steal. B. The bullets flew like birds in the air and whizzed by our ears like the wind through the trees of the winter. C. He has done nothing for which an Indian ought to be ashamed. Question 2. Which quotation best expresses a major theme of this speech? A. They poisoned us by their touch. We were not safe. We lived in danger. We were becoming like them, hypocrites and liars, adulterers, lazy drones, all talkers and no workers. B. He looked up to the Great Spirit. We went to our Great Father. We were encouraged. His great counsel gave us fair words and big promises, but we got no satisfaction. C. The possum and beaver were fled. The springs were drying up, and our squaws and papooses without victuals to keep them from starving. We called a great council and built a large fire. Question 3. Which quotation most effectively expresses the concept that Black Hawk is brave and has done his duty to his nation? A. But the Indians were not deceitful. The white men speak bad of the Indian and look at him spitefully. B. But he can stand torture and is not afraid of death. He is no coward. Black Hawk is an Indian. C. But the Indians are not deceitful. The white men speak bad of the Indian and look at him spitefully. Question 4. Which quotation develops the concept that the Indians are unable to trust the white man? A. I tried hard to bring you into ambush, but your last general understands Indian fighting. B. He drank the blood of some whites. C. The white men do not scalp the head, but they do worse. They poison the heart. It is not pure with them. Read the passage. The benefits of wind energy. Wind energy is fueled by the wind and is a renewable energy source. It is also the fastest growing energy source in the world. Wind power is a form of solar energy. Wind is caused by the sun heating the atmosphere, the Earth's rotation, and irregularities on the Earth's surface. Wind flow patterns can be harvested with wind turbines and used to generate electricity. Some dismiss wind power as a passing trend, not capable of doing the job of fossil fuels. However, according to the American Wind Energy Association, as of July 2013, the United States has 60,000 megawatts of wind capacity installed. That means that there are 45,100 utility-scale wind turbines powering over 15 million homes in America. Social benefits of wind energy. There are many benefits to wind energy. Wind is readily available throughout the United States, and it can reduce our reliance on other countries for our sources of energy. It also helps to control spikes in the cost of fossil fuels, such as coal and natural gas. Wind turbines can be installed amid crops without affecting livestock or production. Local landowners and small businesses that install small groupings of turbines provide a local source of electricity. Then fuel does not have to be imported from other states, regions, or countries, which costs more. Environmental benefits of wind energy. Wind energy is a clean, renewable form of energy that has very little impact on the surrounding environment. It doesn't pollute the air like power plants do. Power plants use fossil fuels that emit pollutants and greenhouse gases into the air. Wind power doesn't need water to run, so it doesn't deplete valuable resources. It also doesn't pollute rivers, lakes, and streams. Even though wind farms are spaced over a large area, the wind turbines actually cover only a small portion of the land. Consequently, there is little impact on crops and the grazing of livestock, and since there is nothing to be minded, the land is not adversely affected. Wind farms can also be located offshore in the oceans or in the lakes. There is some concern about the noise that is generated by wind turbines. However, according to the Wind Energy Development Programmatic Environmental Impact Statement prepared by the U.S. Department of the Interior Bureau of Land Management, design changes have reduced the noise turbines make. In fact, the sound of the wind usually masks the noise. With the newer, more efficient models, wind is converted into rotational torque and less acoustic noise. Torque is a force that produces rotation. The noise also decreases when towers are positioned properly and are insulated well. Additionally, since wind turbines are located primarily in rural areas or at sea, it is unlikely that noise pollution will be a major issue. Economic benefits of wind energy. Wind energy is the lowest price renewable energy technology we have. It can cost between 4 and 6 cents per kilowatt hour. At first glance, it can be argued that energy from traditional power sources such as gas can cost between 3.9 and 4.4 cents per kilowatt hour. However, gas prices can rise and burning fuel releases pollutants and greenhouse gases into the air. Coal costs between 4.8 and 5.5 cents per kilowatt hour. Because burning coal pollutes the air and coal mining destroys forest and soil quality, coal plants must meet strict environmental regulations. This makes it difficult and costly to build new coal plants. According to Synapse Energy Economics' most recent report, if the use of wind energy was doubled in the Mid-Atlantic and Great Lakes states, consumers could save $6.9 billion a year. Most wind farmers are located in rural areas where the best wind sites are found. Farmers and ranchers benefit from wind farms by leasing their land to wind power plant owners. Wind farms take up only a small portion of land, so farmers and ranchers can still work their land, and residents who receive their electricity locally relieve the load on existing transmission lines and the cost of bringing power from far away. Wind farms are profitable for the surrounding communities they service and for the economy as a whole. Monies generated by wind farms can be reinvested within the community and help to grow new businesses. As the industry expands, it provides new job opportunities. While some assert that the employment opportunities in wind technology are very limited, there are jobs in financing, manufacturing, wind technology are very limited. There are jobs in financing, manufacturing, maintenance, quality assurance, transportation and safety, and many other areas, all within the wind power industry. According to the American Wind Energy Association, 80,000 people are currently employed in the wind industry in construction, development, engineering, and operations, and tens of thousands of people are employed in approximately 550 U.S. wind industry manufacturing facilities. Most people see wind power as one of the most promising energy resources of the future. However, some will argue that according to the AWEA, wind energy produced only 3.5% of the nation's electricity in 2012. This should not diminish the fact that the potential for wind energy is immense. According to a released report, the U.S. Department of Energy has set up a plan to reach 20% of wind energy power by 2030. This would fuel the U.S. electricity grid. Because wind energy saves costs and can help provide national energy security, policymakers are considering legislation that would support wind energy growth. Question 5. How well does the author address the counterclaim in paragraph 5 that fossil fuels are less expensive than wind power? A. How well does the author address the counterclaims in paragraph 5 that fossil fuels are less expensive than wind power? A. The response is effective because the author lists added financial and environmental costs of using fossil fuels that raise the cost higher than what is stated. B. The response is ineffective because the statistics clearly show that energy from fossil fuels costs less than energy from wind power. C. The response is effective because the author calls into question the reliability of the source information stated in the counterclaims. Question 6. Which statement accurately evaluates the author's response to the counterclaim that fossil fuels are less expensive than wind power? A. The response effectively addresses the... Scratch that. Question 6. Which statement accurately evaluates the author's response to the counterclaim that fossil fuels are less expensive than wind power? A. The response effectively addresses the counterclaim by providing concrete cost examples and citing a research report. B. The response somewhat effectively addresses the counterclaim by citing a credible source. C. The response ineffectively addresses the counterclaim by arguing for the counterclaim when initially citing costs. Question 7. What claim does the author make in paragraph 7? A. Wind farms are causing changes in the economy as people transition from fossil fuels to alternative energy sources. B. Wind farms are the most profitable energy industry today because they are run entirely by community volunteers. C. Wind farms represent a growing industry with a wide range of employment options in different areas of expertise. 8. Which statement correctly evaluates the author's response to the counterclaim in paragraph 4 that the noise created by wind turbines is a concern? A. It is effective because it provides information about improvements to wind turbines that reduce noise. B. It is effective because it states that a reputable government agency rejects the suggestion that wind turbines create noise pollution. C. It is ineffective because it lists additional benefits of wind energy, but does not address the problem of noise pollution from wind turbines. Question 9. Which quotation from paragraph 1 is a claim made by the author? A. Wind flow patterns can be harvested with wind turbines and used to generate electricity. B. Wind power is a form of solar energy. C. Wind is also the fastest growing energy source in the world.